So today I've got a few props and a few bits and pieces, but
Okay.
I wanted to talk about this is about gold. So gold being what I call money, real money. I wanted to talk about a little bit of the history of real money, being gold and that. So the first thing, I've got a few notes here. It says the difference between real money, gold and silver, and currency, which is fake coins, fake notes, and fake digital currency. Now, to show what I call a fake coin of value, so go into something of like, which isn't of much value, but a 2p coin, yeah? So on here, on one of these printouts I've got, it said a 2p coin, so pre 1992, so that's before 1992, a 2p coin was made out of 97% copper.
Okay.
97% copper. And I've done a little test in this just to see what it looks like, and I scratched one of them off.
Yeah.
When the camera can pick that up, that picks up quite well, I think.
Yeah.
And you can see I scratched that, and you can still see it's copper there, can't you?
Yeah, yeah.
Right, that's copper. So you know that copper's more expensive than stainless steel, isn't it? Yeah. Copper's used for a lot of things. Obviously, stainless steel is used for a lot of things, but copper is worth more than stainless steel. Yeah. I think copper like recently doubled or tripled in price, didn't it?
Yeah, it had a big price.
It went up quite a bit. Yeah. So if you was invested in certain copper stocks, I'm sure your money would have gone up, innit?
Yeah.
Over like a couple of years. So after 1992, they thought obviously it's too expensive to keep on making the copper coins out of real copper, 97%. Right. So they changed it to 94% mild steel, stainless steel basically, or mild steel.
Okay.
And I've scratched that, and can you see that the stainless steel underneath?
Underneath, yeah, yeah.
You see that there?
Yeah, I see.
But the funny thing is, to keep with the fakeness, they still dip it in copper.
Right.
So they don't want to change the color of it. They want to keep our psychological thing, way of thinking the same, if you know what I'm saying. We still like kind of like see that it's being dipped in copper, still the same color is copper.
Yeah.
So that's part of fake currency. And now obviously we've got fake notes, and we've got fake digital currency now as well, which is even worse, I think, than fake notes, fake digital currency.
Yeah.
So basically what I say in today's age, which makes more sense, saving real money, gold and silver, or saving fake currency? And I'm going to show the difference between like the two, if you know what I'm saying. So before World War I, in 1914, a pound, everyone knows what a pound is, isn't it? A pound note, pound coin, was a gold sovereign. Now, most people wouldn't basically be able to know what that they are the same thing. Basically, a gold sovereign was a pound coin. That was the original one of it. Okay. So this is an up-to-date one, but it's still 8 grams of 22 karat gold, and is a gold sovereign. So that there, you can see that is an original, that's a gold sovereign, 8 grams of gold. So that is worth £350 today.
Right.
So we went from this in 1914. We went from that as our money. And I'll go into what we went on to afterwards. And this is what I printed out for myself. And this is the history of the gold sovereign, the original £1 coin. And it said, as Britain moved towards war in the July crisis of 1914, many sought to convert Bank of England notes into gold. So you could, back in them days, you can change your Bank of England like notes, which was like a receipt for gold, and you could change that for the real thing. Okay. And basically what happened in England in 1914 is that a lot of people started to convert their banknotes back into gold. And the bank reserves metal fell from 27 million in July 1914 to 11 million. So that, imagine that the Treasury, the Bank of England, they got 27 million pounds worth of gold sitting there, metal, which they can use to trade with other countries.
Yeah.
So imagine we're the workers, the people in the country, the government and that are the bosses, if you know what I'm saying, and they want to trade with other businesses, other countries, if you know what I'm saying. So they're not going to trade back and then with fiat currency. The main trade was gold, or that was the main value, wasn't it, of gold. But if all your workers, if you're paying them all in gold on there and or whatever, and they're rinsing your gold reserves, then you as a country become less powerful, didn't you?
Yeah.
As a country, because 1 minute you got 27 million, next minute all your people have rinsed your pockets and you've only got 11 million.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like they're probably sitting there thinking, well, I had 27 million, I want to do some business with China or whatever, and now I haven't got nothing to play with. They don't want my fake banknotes, they want the real gold.
Yeah.
So now I've only got 11 million, I've got less to play with, if you know what I'm saying, isn't it? So so obviously they needed to change that, just like other countries needed to change that, because it's easier to control stuff with fake money rather than gold, isn't it? So another good piece of information, a Chancellor of the Exchequer, I didn't know this, but he's like the third in charge for the country.
Okay.
So you've got the Prime Minister, you've got the Deputy Prime Minister, and you've got the Chancellor of the Exchequer, and he's the guy who controls the economy, the money. I think it's that guy now, Richie something, whatever his name is.
Rishi Sunak or whatever.
Yeah, the Asian geezer, isn't it?
Yeah, bruv, he's got one of them untrustworthy faces. I don't like the look of that guy at all, bruv.
But I bet you, not many people like the Chancellors of the Exchequer anyway throughout years.
Yeah.
But this is a statement from one of the Chancellors of the Exchequer, called George Goldstein, I think his name is. This is what he said. He urged issuing banknotes to replace gold coins. So he's the first one to go, right, we need to start issuing banknotes to replace all these gold coins. And he said he preferred 20 million in gold in the Bank of England to 30 million gold sovereigns in the hands of the public. So what he's saying is, like, I prefer to have all this gold in our reserves, in our vaults, in our banks, rather than spread across all the people of our country.
Circulation,
yeah, because they know, as I said, going back to what I said before, when they're trying to trade with other countries and that, if all their people have got the money, the people have got the power, because they got the money, they haven't got the power as much, have they? See, a lot of people don't know this angle of the monetary system. And the reason why I started learning a lot about the monetary system is when I started saving like gold and silver. And then that you fall into learning about what you're saving, which is money and the monetary system. If you're gonna invest in assets, you're gonna learn about the company, aren't you? If you're gonna invest in a cryptocurrency, you should learn about that cryptocurrency, what it does, etc., rather than just going into things blindly. So I was quite surprised, like the angle of that. I was thinking, and it kind of like makes sense how they got rid of it. So look, we'll do a little history timeline of how it is. Yeah. So I've got my props for this. It's quite funny. So we started off with a gold sovereign. Yeah. Yeah. That's got value because of its scarcity. You can only dig as much of this out of the ground as what you can, because it's hard to mine, etc. It's not easy. It's not as abundant as copper, stainless steel, and all the other metals. It's harder to get this stuff, and that's why Bitcoin basically molded themselves on the same USP, scarcity being and mining, etc. And that, so the scarcity of this gives it its value. Gold really hasn't, in my eyes, gold really hasn't got much uses other than being money and jewelry, if you know what I'm saying. And the reason why it's got uses as being money, because it doesn't deteriorate. You could drop this into not like shipwrecks and that. They've been down there for like 1,000 years or whatever. They're still pulling up money. It's not even deteriorated, is it? Yeah. And I mean, so that's why it's good money. So that's the original, as I said, sovereign, which is a pound coin. So we went from that. Then we went to the pound note. Now, not many people are you as old as me. I'm like 44 years old. I'm at that sort of age where I have to remember how old I am.
Yeah,
or try to remember how old I am. So a lot of the younger people in their 20s won't know what the fuck this is. They're thinking, what is this? I've never seen this before. But when you was young, in your early ages, like 10, 11, you had one of these, you was rich. You could get like, back in the day, you could get like 10 embassy number one of these. and some change.
Yeah, that was.
Remember the £1 notes?
No.
No, you can't. And that's what the back of it. That's what the back of it looks like.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've got some crisp ones. So that was a £1 note. That's before the £1 coin.
Yeah.
There was a couple of different versions of that. And then obviously we went to the £1 coin. So that was the first version of the £1 coin.
Oh, really?
And the £1 coin is the £1 coin is 70% copper and 30% other metals. So they still used obviously a lot of copper and metal, 70 to 30, 70 copper, 30% cheaper metal. And then obviously this is a current pound coin that we got today. Same sort of thing is going to be about 75% copper, whatever, the rest cheap metal. And then obviously now we're on to digital currency. Less and less people using these coins these days, aren't they? They're all going on to the digital currency. But all the digital money and this like fiat currency, like you can print as much, well, governments can print as much of this as they want, etc. And they can like, it's like me sitting here. As I said, when I was speaking to someone in a tool station, and I said, it's like me coming into the shop with a bag of money that I just printed at the office and buying what I want. That's how countries do it, basically, isn't it?
Yeah.
It sounds mad, but that's exactly how it happens, isn't it? Like Zimbabwe, they printed their money to so much of a degree that there was so much out there that you needed a wheelbarrow to go and buy like a loaf of bread. Seriously, there was other countries that were just as bad as that because they just kept on printing and printing and printing. The only reason why America's not in trouble is because people still believe in the money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I heard one person say that they exported their inflation. So if all that money came back to that country, then they would be fucked. But while it's all spread out around the world, they're still okay.
Yeah.
So that was basically a short history of money. So what would you rather have, yeah? If you're going to save money now, yeah, what would you rather have? This piece of paper is useless now because obviously if you was too late to change it in the bank, that's useless, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah.
That's no good. You could have the pound coin, which is the current time, for the current times. Remember my little strap line, I say currencies for the current times, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you could save that, or you could save the original pound coin, which is 8 grams of gold. I know which one I'm going for every time.
Yep, I'm taking the original.
I'm taking the original gold and saving more money in that, rather than paper or digital numbers. I'm saving it in gold.
Exactly.